The planes just keep on coming. This big project, among the largest projects this country's ever had, still needs its workers to complete the job, but completion is in sight. At Shell Albion Sands, we are making incredible progress. We can see the end of the road. Here in the spring of 2010, we are heading down the home stretch at Expansion 1.
Expansion 1 is a huge mega project for Shell. It's certainly one of the largest mega projects we've ever executed globally, and certainly it's the largest single investment we've ever made in Canada. When it comes online later this year and early next year, it'll produce over 100,000 barrels a day of oil, and will continue to produce for decades to come. I want to take this opportunity to thank all those workers, their families, and all the companies involved in making Expansion 1 a reality. Your efforts and your safe work are truly appreciated, and Expansion 1 is not only going to benefit Shell in the years and decades to come, but it's also going to benefit the people of Alberta and Canada as well. So thank you again.
From the new administration building window, the view has changed a lot in extraction. The process building towered beside the primary separation vessel 2 years ago. Today, it is larger, enclosed, and complete. Utilities now is also complete. The power plant of the project steam generation is enclosed and handed over. And then there's crushing and conveying. Trucks will dump ore here, the lumps broken down in the crusher, carried up the huge conveyor to the surge bin, then onto the breakers, where the extraction process can begin. Over 10 million cubic meters of material moved to excavate this. That's like digging basements for 45,000 new homes. They handed the whole C&C silo over to Shell in February 2010. Now there's just one silo left to go. A big, complex part of the project, which breaks new ground for both Shell and the oil sands industry. Ladies and gentlemen, this is froth treatment.
With Froth, the last of the 4 areas to complete the project construction scope, and with some 8 million man-hours to build the froth treatment facilities, I'd like to thank everyone involved. That's the Flint employees, Steeplejack employees, CBI Horton, CESCO, and all the other contractors that have been involved on a job really well done. Thank you very much.
Froth, before the big push. Around the tower crane in the foreground, the vessels for the heart of the froth process are being assembled. The pieces will become 2 huge tanks to go onto pilings right at the center of the new froth. Here's the lift on a cold day in late January 2009. Both day and night, people worked throughout the chill of the winter of 2009, and it was cold.
I remember working up in 27 Iraq at 140 elevation, minus 40, wind chill approximately minus 50. Coming down the stairs, having to take off my safety glasses. They were whiter than my foreman's hard hat.
The settlers are actually smaller than the settlers in the original Muskeg River plant. That's because the new hot froth process is much more efficient. But they are tall. It's a long way up a lot of stairs to get to the top.
We have one of the settlers over here. We're standing on the second settler. They're the key components to the froth plot, which consists of 93,000 square meters, which is equal to 18 football fields.
Here's a look inside one of the settlers. Froth mixed with solvent settles in here. We need to understand extraction to understand froth treatment. In extraction, oil sand is mixed with hot water. When it's swirled, the sand just naturally falls to the bottom and the oil floats up to the top. This is what happens in extraction. Bitumen comes off the top as froth. Froth treatment furthers the process with solvent. Froth still has water in it and a lot of impurities to be settled out. Martin here at Shell's Research Center has set up this demo of froth treatment. He's mixed froth with solvent and gives our camera a good view of settlement. You can see the sediment falling away. Within not too long, it'll have dropped to the bottom. Temperature is important. As the solvent arrives from extraction, under the old froth method, it'll have to be cooled down to separate in the settlers. Then it has to be heated way up so the solvent can be removed in solvent recovery. But the new way, the froth is heated for settling, then heated a little more to recover the solvent. Without the cooling and reheating, the new process saves energy. But the big payoff is when the solvent settling happens when it's warmer, it's over 10 times faster. So you need smaller, less expensive settlers. Here's a look at what you get after impurities have settled out and the solvent's been removed. Thick bitumen, which Scotford can turn into rich, clean crude oil and petroleum products like gasoline. This warmer process was a Shell Albion innovation and is planned for other plants now too. Back over to Todd.
And over here, we got a really good view of the really big flare stack.
Yep, really big. About 35 stories high. So pilots know it's there, aviation lights. Should you have the need and authorization to go to the top, do plan rest breaks. But just about the time the stack was being lifted into place, last summer, project management came to a new realization.
The middle of last year, we took a look at our schedule and we had to make some major changes to get the froth completed successfully.
Then the big push started. First thing was to get more people, over 2,000, from every part of Canada and beyond.
Hi, I'm Janak Upadhyay and I am coming from Surat, India.
India is where many overseas workers at Froth came from.
I'm Milo de los Santos from Calapan, Oriental Mindoro, Philippines.
But the Philippines was the #1 overseas country of origin. One of the challenges of froth was its vertical nature. Material had to go up 10 or 15 stories in height. One of the innovations was the use of big tower cranes, the kind traditionally used to build urban skyscrapers. Froth used 3 of the biggest they could get. Getting people up and down was another challenge. Climbing stairs, dozens of flights of stairs several times a day, is time-consuming.
Welcome, guys. Come on in.
The solution was temporary elevators. You don't have to stop and catch your breath in an elevator when you're coming back from lunch or coffee or warming up in the winter. And to make winter work more productive, the big solvent recovery units were enclosed against the wind and the cold. There is just so much work to be done. The trays for electrical cable laid end to end would reach into Fort McMurray. The cable in them would reach to Vancouver.
I think me and my crew pulled the majority of this cable ourselves in the freezing cold, but it wasn't that bad.
Cable routes power out to run equipment, but first it must go through the Motor Control Center, or E-House.
I started my electrical training at age 15 in the classroom, and I've been at it almost a decade now. But I've never seen anything like this.
And pipe. There are 30 kilometers of pipe in Froth, all kinds, large and small. When you see this project, you just have to wonder, how can people figure out how it all goes together?
Here's the secret. Every pipe, every fitting, every valve has its own specific number. You put the right numbers in the right places, you got yourself a plant.
There's enough concrete in Froth to cover a football field 5 feet thick, and enough steel to equal the weight of 100 Flair 737 jets. Is each man able to get his work done? Well, that's why you have foremen and lead hands and their paperwork. These folks take each worker's timesheet and correlate work done with task assigned and project objectives each day. They gather and input information so leaders can know how the job is going.
His time that it should be charged to.
We can check, for example, productivity. Maybe we have a problem with productivity because the guy hasn't received the proper training to do the activity, so it's our call and our responsibility to provide proper training. There is a problem with material, with the quality of the material that we have. It is a daily activity, a daily tracking to ensure that we are achieving the daily goals.
So right now, Dominic, we're going to put this power cable...
30% of project workers are apprentices. It has been a learning experience for many, and many have stepped up to the plate, taken on responsibility, and exceeded expectations.
This is a 25M froth tank area, and I'm in charge.
My most exciting moment on the project was we had to inspect the top of one of the settlers. The staircase wasn't in place yet, so we had to go up with the use of a crane man basket. That was really exciting.
The work has been impressive in froth treatment. We can sometimes lose sight of just how much has been accomplished. Never mind the fact that it has been done so safely.
We've done a lot of great work here, and no one got hurt on my time.
I've done safety in a couple of places in Newfoundland and southern Alberta, but no one does it like we do it here.
We've just achieved our first safety milestone of achieving 5 million man-hours without an LTI. So here, in fact, we managed to achieve 21 million worker hours without a lost time incident. This achievement is something particularly special.
And together with Scotford, Albion Expansion 1 celebrated 40 million worker hours without a lost time accident. The first Shell project anywhere to ever hit that milestone. Also significant, the total recordable incident frequency. It crested up ominously in late 2007, but with a renewed focus on safety, it has dropped enviably ever since.
The safety record is a fantastic achievement. It's probably one of the best in this area, without doubt. It hopefully will set a benchmark for future projects here in the oil sands region and for Shell themselves when it comes to executing large projects of this nature.
I started out with this project when the first mod was built and was there when the last mod rolled out of the yard at Site 231 in Sherwood Park. I come up to site and I've had a chance to be a part of this magnificent project from beginning to end, and I'm absolutely thrilled to be here now, and I'd like to say hi to all the guys back in Sherwood Park and wish you were here.
The expanded pipeline system is finished and ready. The big new 42-inch line will carry both muskeg and jack pine bitumen to Scotford. The jack pine control room, now just about finished and ready to go.
Well, who would have thought the project construction work scope now coming to an end and firmly in sight? I actually remember coming up here over 4.5 years ago in November 2005 when we came to cut down the first tree to actually open up the site for the construction proper. And I'd like to take this opportunity to thank everyone who have directly or indirectly contributed to the various milestones that we have achieved along the journey. We've had many challenges, but it's been a great delight in watching the Shell folks, the Emmett Colt and the contractors always meet those challenges head on and to get to where we are today. Thanks to everyone.
And so most of us will be glad to get on the plane and head home.
Cape Breton, where else? Is nobody going to Cape Breton?
What's your favorite memory of being here so far?
It has to be the mud.
Stories in the lunchroom. Yeah. Of all the people from Vancouver to St. John's. And they tell all these wonderful stories about their homeland, the people they love that's back there, and all the crazy things that happen. And we laugh and have fun.
This is a project built by courageous, committed people who have made the tough decision to be here for this job and to get the job done safely. It is a project that all Canadians will benefit from, but which most Canadians will never get to see. And as we leave, each of us for our own last time, we say on behalf of Shell and of all Canadians, thank you.